All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So big day on Barnes and Noble. I think the cool thing was we were actually all over it on the Chart Readers Discord. BNED, I don't know how many times. Yeah, I mean, all this was today, and you can see it started around 9 o'clock on my end. The big thing for me, I actually threw it on Twitter, and this was essentially the picture. I'd gotten in because of the break of the 50, and my expectation was, and I say it all the time, break the 50, we're going to go to the 100. Lo and behold, we broke the 50 and went well beyond the 100, actually, right? It was only a wick, but hey, the trade was there and done, right? So gotta love having a plan, watching it follow through. And hey, I will say this, it seems like there's a real chance for more here. All right, so we're in the middle of the gap. I'm already kind of getting into the technicals. I'll save some of my thoughts for later. AMC and GameStop had obviously big pops. They're now kind of in the moving average real world is what I'll call it. All right, it's very important that they hold and bounce on these upcoming lines. Otherwise, look, it is what it is, and it will follow what all other stocks do, right? And then FFIE, this one is still doing better than Game and AMC in terms of the moving averages, but clearly there's a little bit of a turn coming, right? And again, the overall connection between each of these stocks is volume. Volume needs to hit for these things to go big, right? So that's the real big underline. The one comment I just want to say before I get into each individual, in my eyes, meme stocks normally run when the markets are bad, when the indices are bad, all right? I will be honest with you, I'm seeing good indices. This is a beautiful S&P 500 that is actually breaking our previous top. I know it's a super high RSI on the daily, but man, this is a nice weekly right here. This is really low. This looks like it's turning around. I mean, SP 500 looks good. I can say the exact same things for the Dow Jones, which is riding and bouncing lovely, right? A little bit high on the RSI on the daily, lovely on the weekly, right? I can say the same thing about the NASDAQ, right? Look at this thing. Riding like a champion, a little bit high RSI in the daily, weekly looking lovely, right? So to me, it's interesting to see the major indices doing well as these crazy meme movers. So like in the back of my head, one of the two just kind of seems like it doesn't fit. But hey, I've got no problem with good indices and some crazy runners. I'll take them both. Why not? But yeah, just a little food for thought on my end. So a little bit of a longer opening thoughts than normal. But before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have, we have our 5 moving averages. There are none, but I will draw some horizontal support and resistance lines on this. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this thing all over the internet. Like, comment, whatever you can do. Oh, it helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. All right, so let's get into Barnes and Nobles. And one more time, I really love the fact that we were just all over this thing. Like I said, around 9 o'clock, it really was the big pop. There was a bit of a drop. I even called a 50-cent drop. I know there was one of those, and you can see we are watching the drop to 50, and then it really did just play out well as expected, right? So what was the story? I kind of started it off, right? Breaking the 50 moving average was the story. All right, to me, that was really huge. In a lot of ways, it actually can start off arguably by a bounce and a recovery from the 8 moving average, right? You can easily give a lot of love to that green 8 line right there, right? Because what happens? We make an attempt to fill the whole gap. Clearly, the 50 moving average line says, no, this is enough for you today, and it actually brings us all the way back down down at some point, closing right here. It gaps down in the morning, right? This thing opens at 29 cents. Yesterday, we closed at 31, right? So we gapped down almost 10%. And then lo and behold, we go, right? I mean, look, this is nothing more than red, 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 red. Look, let me zoom out and draw this, right? Sorry, let's zoom in and then draw it. Sorry, that was silly. From here to here. I think these are going to be the first lines I draw. Okay, I'm going to delete these lines too, because right now these 5 lines matter the most, right? But from here to here, there is absolutely nothing. There is nothing but this red, 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 red gap down, green, 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 red, 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 and we hit that green, green, green today, right? Lovely, okay? To me, what I really liked, and again, like I said, I wish I saw it earlier. I obviously didn't. Hey, it's okay, right? You don't have to catch it all to make a good day. What I really liked was this break of the 50 moving average. So it was at 44 cents. You can see it right here. And let me see if I can get into the 15-minute. All right, look, if you look at the first comment, it was at 9 a.m. I live on the West Coast, so 9 o'clock is actually 12 o'clock Eastern, all right? It was right there that we started to really make that break. And from there, I mean, it just went clearly from there, right? So we literally saw it, and I hope a good amount of people were able to at least either bank or make a good plan here for the rest of the day, right? So what am I expecting tomorrow? Look, I think everything is there for this to do well, all right? We must have good volume tomorrow. All right. Normally, I would start with confirmation, right? This is the first good candle over that red 50 moving average line, right? As I zoom back, you can see it. It's actually the first real good candle of probably the year, right? I mean, I wouldn't say the year, but since early January. Right? Since we lost it right here, we have definitely not seen a good candle even come remotely close to that red line, right? So the fact that we got over it is no joke, and it is no guarantee that we're going to continue, but we're sitting in the middle of a gap of a whole lot of nothing. We have a real nice MACD that looks like it's very close to positive. We have an RSI that got really hot to 80, cooled down, got really hot, cooled down, and it looks like it should be going. And again, that's a little bit of a steeper line than I want, right? I like when volume's a little more like that. That to me is a lot more sustainable. That is a pretty hard slope to hit, right? But look, I'm going to bring out the trusty calculator right now. I think the lowest volume I can accept is about 155, something like that, right? So if I'm expecting 155 million shares in a 7-hour day, I need around 22 million in the first hour. I would love to be a little bit over 45 million shares by that second hour, right? That's what I'm going to be looking for me to believe, all right? I think the next real big target is probably this line right here. It is 75. Right? I saw it when I drew it actually, and I didn't even know that's exactly where we closed. But yeah, we're pretty much kissing the bottom of this thing, right? And even from where we sit to right here, it's a whole mess of nothing. Red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 red. Could be a nice little green, green, green up to 73 right now. And it's funny because I think it was one of the last things I said right here. I thought that we were going to head to the 7s, but just in case it didn't, I really thought worst case we would hold the close of 55. That is pretty much what we did, right? It was about a penny off, but yeah, we were close enough to hold nicely over the 50. If I was to say a come down number, I think I can see this coming back down to maybe 47 or 48. I would be very nervous if we lost 44. I think around 43 would be pretty bad. And I mean, 43 from 54 is actually a pretty nasty drop. That's about a 20% drop, right? So, yeah, I think that 48 would probably be my first real worry line. And that's probably you know, a little more than 10% if I'm doing some quick math in my head, right? So Barnes and Noble on the weekly, really quick. Again, there are signs that are saying it wants to come into, this is saying 67. So I think 67 to 73 is probably the immediate target. But I mean, even look at this. Volume's been doing its thing week after week, right? Red, 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 red so far has been an easy green, green, green. But, you know, I think $1 plus is a little too high of a target. I do. All right. I think right now I'm going to delete these lines too. I don't think we need these lines. I think it's also, like I said, about the moving averages. I think the max right now we can put for a target is 95 cents. That is this 200. I think if we were able to break that, we'll start thinking of other stuff. I think that would probably be the highest. I'll draw that single line up there at 151. But again, I think it's a little premature to think above 95. And realistically, this 75 wall is going to be a little difficult to break right there, right? So cool. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Hey, let me know if you know why this thing is getting some meme love. I saw a couple people, and I saw one in the Discord here. There are some connections between Barnes and Noble and GameStop, I think. There's a lot of short interest and this and that, right? But yeah, I'm curious, why is this one getting that meme love, if it is even, all right? So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's move into the next two. So I'm going to combine GameStop and AMC, all right? I think they both actually have some very similar thoughts. Very quickly, please, if you could subscribe or share. Oh man, it does wonders with these algorithms, okay? I use the words fell back into the moving average reality at the beginning in the opening thoughts, all right? I'm going to kind of expand on that. So to me, I love these moving averages, and I've said it. I have a different combination between my chart readers that we look at, the one and the two, but end of the day, it's all the same moving average theory, right? I love these moving averages because generally you don't go too far away from them, right? Like generally we don't see these crazy takeoffs when the line is still down here, right? Generally, let's find one, because even on this thing, right? Like something like this, you can see it goes up, but the line really does follow. Like even that one right there, let me zoom in and let's make this just a little bit of a prettier thing. Even this run, you can see it goes up, it catches up, it goes up, comes like there's a rhyme and a reason to the move up as well as the 8 moving average, right? This to me, and again, there are so many different trading strategies, there's so many different charts you can look at, so many different indicators. Hell, volume alone is its own little beast, right? Like there's so many things, but when we start to just exponentially escape the lines, there's an excitement and there's a worry with it, right? And the flip side of it is you propel down quickly back to it, back to the realities of the moving averages, right? I didn't make up these lines, right? It's not like I woke up one day and was like, oh, these are a good 5 to use, right? I have taken from people smarter than me. I have tested, lost money, found ways to stop losing money and actually make money, and tweaked and this and that, right? Like these aren't made up lines, and it is what it is, right? And now where I see us is we've lost the 8, but we're trying to hold the 20 moving average. Look, if you watch my videos, I say it all the time. The 8 and the 20, they're like brother and sister. They're like best friends, right? You can slip below the 8. It's never a good thing. I don't like it, but the 20 should catch it, the 20 should hold it, the 20 should bounce you back over so that you can keep going, right? I'm going to lower this line. I think to me, I would want that. I think 29 That's a good line right there, 29.85. I think if we can get over this number, I think there's a real reason to believe that we're going to run back to 45. Okay? I can see us getting close to this number, but not getting over it. And there's two things you can do with that. You can trade from 22 to maybe 29. What is that? $6 basically? That's a 30% move if it does that. That's beautiful, right? Or, hey, you can tell yourself, I'm going to wait for this to break and then trade from here to here, right? There are actually a couple options. Look, I like the spacing between these two lines. Like I said, there's a 30% move going from down here to up here, right? Even if we don't go all the way, maybe we'll get caught around 26 something. That's still a 20% move because we're adding $4 here, right? So game is well worth looking at tomorrow if we can continue up, you know? And I think all you really need is probably 22.75 to start believing that we're going to make our way up, right? So I think as I'm saying those words, I'm going to go ahead and set that 22.76. Give me the penny over that 5. An alert is not an immediate buy notification. It's definitely, hey, come check out the charts and make an educated thought, right? But yeah, I like that actually. I think that's an interesting spot right there. But again, the crazy memeness might come if we get over this line, because again, you need to get over all. Look at it right here. You break all 5 and you fly. This was the crazy meme version of it, right? A quick 3x in a couple days. We need to get over all 5 in order to fly again, right? So we'll need volume. Clearly, that's not the way I want to see volume go. But hey, every single day we've been breaking that 50-day average. So at least the volume is still here. The interest is still here. Unfortunately, it's just been a big sell-off, right? So that's my magic line right there. We got to get over that. Listen, it will be very bad if we lose 1970. If we lose the 20 moving average, we're coming all the way down to either the 16 line that I got or more than likely into the 1550 range, because that's where all those are. It should be very hard to lose 1550, but no one wants to drop from 20 something to 15 something. That's more than a 25% loss right there, right? So GameStop has now fallen back to the realities of the moving averages. And again, the money line, I'm repeating myself, I apologize. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, look at this, right? The weekly actually has a more telling story. This thing goes from the bottom, gets to the 200, but can't break it, right? It opens up here at 26. It runs as high as 60, but it closes under, right? We were never able to get over that. Now we're kind of struggling to get over the 100, right? I see the golden cross on the weekly. I for sure do, right? That's a decent 71. That's a nice positive MACD with a good green over red, right? Again, I think the story is going to remain the same. Get me over this. What line is this? 2560. Where's 2560? No, that's not enough for me. Yeah, that's our line still. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Let's come to AMC. Hey, maybe I'm going to end up separating them because I actually said some more than I thought. I mean, no, look, again, this is the same thought, right? We're on the daily. And again, we make the move. We open over the 200. We just couldn't get over it. And then from there, it just made, if you can't get over this, you're going to make your way back down to the next one. And that's literally what we did, right? I think Game had a much nicer takeoff and go. They both really made fantastic profits. They both actually still did that 3x, right? But yeah, GameStop had the prettier chart to do it. What am I looking for here? I'm going to raise this line. I'm looking for that. So, nope, just a little bit higher. Let's take it to 20 something. Let's take it to that. I need this to break 520 before I would touch this. Where's that 688 coming from? Oh, that's a real line, and it's the bottom of that. Makes a lot of sense to me that this day closes around that 688 day actually. Okay. Yeah, I like this. I think this is the 1, 2, 3. I think if we can break 520, There's a real chance we head towards 7. That's almost a 50% move right there, right? I'm using round, rough numbers. If we can break this line, we should make our way to the 200 around 830-ish again. Because look, just where we sit, right? All I'm really seeing, I'm going to delete this line, but all I'm really seeing between here and here is nothing, 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 red, 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 nothing, 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 red, 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 red. It could be a fast move there. And then pretty much the exact same thing from here to here, right? So do not expect it to be easy to get over the 200 moving average, all right? Just look at this thing. That purple line has been pretty much indestructible, to say the least, right? So no guarantee on the purple line, but hey, making a move from 4 to even the 6th line would be beautiful, right? Again, I do not trust and I do not like this until we get over 520. I think on the downside, I can see us coming to 412. That's actually not a horrible risk reward right there if you're looking at the math. So yeah, nice. Okay, cool. I like those two, actually. I'm going to keep them combined. Let me know your thoughts. Let me look at the weekly real quick. Oh, man, yeah, this is a nice weekly. This is a nice weekly, actually. If you're a little patient with AMC, this could be an interesting weekly chart right here. Clearly, volume just needs to do a bit more. But, hey, it's still very, very early in the week. But I wouldn't say close to half, which is what tomorrow is going to put us at, right? So, yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's take a look at FFIE. So this one's an interesting one, all right, because there's two things that come to mind. Number one, I think it could have been pretty, I don't want to say pretty easy, but this RSI was at a 93, 97, and then a 99.12. I'm not sure if I've ever seen anything as close to 100 as this 99 point something. I don't think I've seen a lot of 99s. I've seen some 97s. I know there's a bunch of 96s and 95s I can think of. 99's a real high one, and you know, it's an easy place, in my opinion, to bank some amazing next level profits. Man, I hope you did, for real. All right. The one thing I like about this chart that I was kind of complaining about with the GameStop chart, this exponentially escapes the 8 moving average. FFIE is actually kind of riding it really nicely. All right. And we are doing a good job of holding 50% of the biggest candle to the left, right? The biggest, at least green one. Clearly, this one's a little bit bigger than this one, but that's the 50% that I care about, right? I would say roughly 118, 115 is probably the first, worry line. If we slip below that, I can see us coming as low as 87 cents, all right? I clearly don't like that RSI, but I like the MACD. And I think all I'm really looking at is an RSI that was too high, needed to come a little low. Hopefully it goes back up pretty soon. 69's getting low. I can see it wanting to get just a little lower. And I think maybe that's going to take us closer to that dollar range. Hopefully we don't go as low as 87. But hey, that could be an interesting place for someone to pick up a position if they weren't in it, all right? I would be extremely worried if this loses 80 cents, all right? If we lose 80 cents, that could actually be a very fast fall down to the 20 moving average, okay? The money line is gonna be 165. If we can get over that 165 line, oh man, this thing's gonna continue. It is, and I mean, just at the minimum, the 200 moving average is still in play. This is probably the only real horizontal here, right? Those are probably the only real green candles. I guess I would probably draw one up there too. Oh, let's leave that. Yeah, cool. I like that. So I think these are the lines. I'm going to stay in this zoom right here. Boom, boom, and boom. Okay, I'm going to set an alert for 169. 168. An alert is not an immediate buy notification. It's definitely a, hey, come check it out and look. But yeah, I think that's a real, sorry, I didn't mean to zoom in. Sorry about that. I think that's a beautiful channel to trade. Nothing, 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 red, 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 red. Nothing, 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 red, 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 red. Green, 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 green is what I would love. even that 3 to 5 could be a real nice channel if it hits. And again, red, 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 green, 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 whole mess of nothing, right? So my working guess is the 200 moving average is going to get to that 533 in the next couple days. That looks like it's starting to come steeply down. At the moment, it's sitting at 675, all right? So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good breakdown of this. This is a decent weekly. Look, last week gets over several moving averages that it hasn't been able to get over in a while. And the 8 and the 20 are some big several lines. So far, we're forming a doji, and I think this isn't bad at all. It really isn't. It looks like the MACD is just inching its way closer and closer to that zero line, right? This is a little bit of a high RSI, but man, that red line is so far below. It's going to take a while. I mean, we should stay green over red for a bit. And hey, look, outlier week aside, that's nice volume. That's a good pickup. And we're already pushing almost 1 billion shares this week. That's huge. So a lot of things to like on FFIE here. All right. So let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Even if you disagree, hey, thank you so much.